Everyone, my name is Nick Corbin. Tonight you're in for a special treat. My beautiful daughter Estella is going to read a story by David Walliams called The Queen's Orang-Utan.
The Queen was trapped in a palace full of stuff, mountains and mountains of old stuff. Every night she would dream of escaping. The Queen had so much stuff that when it was her birthday, no one had a clue to give her. But this year she knew exactly what she wanted. A sole gold diamond
Encrusted.
Stairlift? Guessed the prince. No, snapped the Queen. Guess again. A great big bottle of brandy. Hiccuped a red-nosed Duke. No, said the Queen in a telling off tone he had heard many times before. A set of Belgian symbols hand-painted with all the flags of the Commonwealth nations? Guessed the royal baby. No, replied the Queen. Well, what then? For one's birthday, one would very much like, announced the Queen, one's own orang-utan. A shocked silence, then before the Duke ranged, You want a giant monkey? Orangutans aren't giant monkeys, they are apes, corrected the Queen. You want a giant ape? Yes. Stuffed? No. A live one, please, she replied before returning to her roast beef. Thank you so much. Finally, the royal baby spoke up for the whole family. Great-grandmama, now why on earth do you want a big beastly orangutan? To be my new butler, of course, announced the Queen. The Queen announced. The next morning, the entire royal household gathered up to celebrate. Happy birthday! A gigantic cake the size of a paddling pool was wheeled in. Next, the huge oak doors swung open to reveal an orangutan. The great ape looped in, climbed up the silk curtains before leaping onto a swinging chandelier. Finally, the orangutan let go and dived into the cake with a giant plop. The Queen smiled to herself. This was turning out to be her best birthday ever. Later, it was time for the Prime Minister's weekly visit to Buckingham Palace. Certainly, the Queen thought the man was an awful bore. He prattled on and on about himself all day. I am sure to go down in history, he prattled. Tea, Prime Minister, interrupted the Queen, as the greatest leader this country has ever seen, you know. On and on and on, he prattled as the Queen's new butler wheeled in the tea trolley. The orangutan then approached to slurp some tea from the pot, before emptying it all over the Prime Minister's head. Look or two sugars in it, isn't it? Said the Queen. That afternoon, Her Majesty was having her portrait painted for the 1000th nodding time. May I say how your Royal Majesty looks on this most glorious of days? Your royal birthday, creeped the royal portrait painter. He was the creepiest creep in a long history of creepiness. But this portrait afternoon, Her Majesty recalled some paint, brushes and a canvas to be set out for her new butler too. After a while, the Queen stood up to examine the two paintings. Oh yes, one's orangutan has captured one perfectly. Let's hang this one up in the grand banquet hall. You should be put in the dark and distant downstairs loo. I thank your highness for her graciousness. That very night, the Queen had to host yet another boring banquet at Buckingham Palace for all the leaders of the world. The Queen had to sit next to the President of the United States of America. Her Majesty found the little man an enormous pain in the bottom. For a start, whatever delicious dishes the Queen deserved, the Prime Minister always deserved a pot of fries on the side, even with his pudding. But tonight Her Majesty knew just what to do to liven things up. She arranged for her new butler to join in the after-dinner
entertainment.
Dancing with the Royal Ballet Company. The next morning, the maid brought the Queen her breakfast on a silver tray, as she always did. "Good morning, Your Majesty," she chirped as she opened the huge velvet curtains. Except it wasn't the Queen in bed. No! Ah! Screamed the maid. It was the orang-utan! Meanwhile, outside Buckingham Palace, a fixture was swinging across the country yard on a jungle vine of Union Jacks. It was the Queen! Stop her! But the bearskin guards could not do a thing. The Queen was free! All the Queen left behind was a letter. Hebe disguise that my orangutan butler should be making and should be in charge of everything he thought he with. Goodbye forever. Signed, Her Royal Highness. The end. The end?